The moment Daniel pushed open the wrong office door, his life didn't just change. It flipped, twisted, and landed somewhere he never imagined, because standing inside, half changed after a sudden rainstorm, was Victoria Hale, the youngest female CEO in the city, and the woman who everyone said had a heart made of ice. Daniel froze, Victoria froze, and in that split second of shock, embarrassment, and awkwardness, something unexpected began. But to understand why this moment mattered so much, you have to know one thing: Daniel wasn't supposed to be here. He was just a single dad trying to survive, working 2 jobs, taking overtime, and praying every night that his little girl wouldn't notice the world crushing him. Before we continue this powerful story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Kind Heart Corner, where every story reminds us that kindness still matters. Daniel had been hired as a temporary maintenance worker in Victoria's corporate building. Not because he dreamed of cleaning offices, but because his 7-year-old daughter Lily needed new asthma medication, and he refused to let her skip a single dose. That morning, the rain had poured nonstop. A pipe burst on the 32nd floor, and Daniel, exhausted, soaked, and running on 3 hours of sleep, followed a manager's rushed directions. Second door on the left. Fix the leak. Except it wasn't the second door on the left. It was Victoria Hale's private suite, and just as Daniel pushed it open, Victoria, who had arrived drenched from an early board meeting, was changing her blouse. He immediately turned around, apologizing so fast the words tangled together. He expected yelling, he expected security, he expected to be fired so quickly he wouldn't even get to explain, but instead, Victoria laughed, not a cold laugh, not a sarcastic laugh, a human, surprised, tired laugh. "It's okay," she said softly. "Honestly, it's been that kind of day." Daniel stood there stunned. This was the woman the news called the Iron Queen. This was the CEO employees whispered about like she had no soul. Victoria noticed his soaked clothes, his trembling hands, the exhaustion he couldn't hide. "Sit," she gestured. "You're shivering." "I'm fine," Daniel whispered. "I just need to fix the leak." But Victoria had this strange, intuitive way of seeing straight through people. "You're a good man," she said. "I can tell, but good men break when no one helps them." Those words hit Daniel harder than any storm. She offered him a towel, then coffee, and then, after a quiet moment, "Tell me what's really going on." Daniel didn't plan to share. He didn't plan to talk about Lily, but something inside him, something heavy, buried for too long, finally cracked. He told her everything. The double shifts, the medical bills, the constant guilt of never being enough. Victoria didn't interrupt, she didn't judge, she just listened. In a way no one had listened to him in years, and then came the unexpected twist. "I lost my mom to asthma when I was Lily's age," Victoria whispered. "That's why I work so hard, and why I don't let anyone close. It still hurts." Suddenly, the cold CEO made sense. She wasn't unkind. She was just protecting what was left of her heart. That day, she did something Daniel never expected. She walked him to HR herself. She pulled rank. She rewrote policies. And she gave him something he never thought he'd have again: a full-time job, with benefits, insurance, stability. "Your daughter deserves a father who's not drowning," she told him. "Let me help you breathe." Daniel cried right there in the hallway. Not because he was weak, but because kindness, when it's real, hits like a miracle. The emotional climax 2 weeks later. Lily met Victoria. The little girl didn't know she was talking to a billionaire CEO. She only knew that the tall lady with the warm smile had brought her a stuffed unicorn and sat on the floor to play with her. And when Lily hugged her goodbye, she said something that made Victoria's eyes fill instantly. "Thank you for helping my daddy. He smiles more now." Victoria swallowed hard. That tiny voice reached a part of her she thought had died years ago. In that moment, Daniel's life wasn't the only one changing. Final scene, a new beginning. Months passed. Daniel flourished at work. Lily's health improved. And Victoria, for the first time in years, let someone walk beside her instead of behind her, not because of a spark or a romance or a dramatic corporate twist, but because kindness, unexpected, unplanned, and unfiltered, had brought 2 broken people into the same room at the same impossible moment. Sometimes life changes in the strangest ways. Sometimes a mistake isn't a mistake. It's destiny wearing the wrong door label. Ending message. And so, Daniel learned something powerful. One small act of understanding can rewrite a person's entire future. Because in a world full of storms, kindness is still the strongest shelter.